Welcome back to the Wealthy Good Life podcast. We're diving into something kind of fundamental today.
Oh, yeah.
What does it actually mean to be successful?
Mm,
I mean, it's something we probably all think about a lot, especially when we're kind of looking at where we are and where we want to go.
for sure.
I've been looking at some super interesting stuff you shared, and it seems like you're really interested in understanding success beyond, just how much money someone has in the bank.
Definitely.
So our mission today is to unpack all these different perspectives and maybe help you figure out what success really means to you.
Sounds good.
What really struck me when I was going through all this was how much our upbringing can influence what we think success looks like. Like,
Mhm.
did our parents kind of drill it into us that money's the only way to measure success?
It's so true. That feeling of like your self-worth being tied to your net worth, it's something I think a lot of people struggle with.
It's almost like it's built into our society, right? We're
Yeah.
constantly comparing ourselves to others and judging them based on how much money they make or what they own.
Totally. But the interesting thing is, some of the stuff you sent over really challenged that idea head on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was this one piece that asked straight up, is money the only measure of success? And another one that said, success has nothing to do with money. Like
Yeah.
that right there is a huge contrast.
So if it's not all about the money,
Yeah.
then what is it about? What were some of the other ways people define success in the stuff you shared?
Well, there were tons of different ideas, and a lot of them had nothing to do with your financial status at all. Like making a positive impact on the world through things like activism, social justice, the arts, even just being involved in your local community.
Like in those areas, how much money you have doesn't even matter.
Exactly. What really matters is what you're giving back, how you're contributing.
I love that. And there were some really personal definitions of success too, right? Like being a good parent, a good neighbor, a good friend.
Those are the things that truly enrich our lives, the connections we build with others. Money can't buy those kinds of things.
And then there were things like generosity, whether it's donating to charity or just doing something nice for someone out of the blue, volunteering your time, working hard, taking care of your health, always learning new things.
All of those things contribute to a picture of someone who's successful in a much broader sense, someone with a rich life, not just a rich bank account.
And you know what else was interesting? The emphasis on appreciating beauty and art and just taking pride in your work, whatever that work may be.
Right, like recognizing that even jobs that aren't glamorous, like trash collection or plumbing, are essential, and people who do them well are successful in their own right.
And it really makes you think about how we define success, doesn't it? Is it just about money and stuff, or is it something more?
One of the things you shared actually asked that very question. Do you believe money and success lead to happiness? And then it followed up with, do you think money can buy happiness?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. And a lot of what we talked about really challenges that assumption, that the more money you have, the happier and more successful you'll be.
Like, are rich people actually happier than everyone else?
It's not that simple. There are definitely unhappy rich people and plenty of people with less money who are perfectly content.
So there's no guarantee, huh?
Right. And there's actually been some really interesting research on the link between income and happiness.
Tell me about that.
Some studies suggest that happiness levels off after a certain income, like $75,000 or maybe $100,000 a year. Like beyond that, more money doesn't really make you that much happier.
That's fascinating.
But there's other research that says well-being keeps increasing even beyond $80,000 without any plateau.
So there's no clear answer then.
Not really. It seems like it's way more complicated than we might think.
It makes you wonder if maybe it's less about external factors like income and more about our internal world, our mindset and attitude.
Yeah, totally. And some of the things you shared touched on that too, like how psychology and even religion suggests that how we feel about ourselves in our lives plays a huge role in how successful we feel.
Like that saying, who is rich? Those who rejoice in their own portion. That's a powerful one.
It's a reminder that true wealth is about being content with what you have, not constantly chasing more.
I also like the idea that success is about having control over your time, not just how much money you have.
Ah, yes. Time is the one resource we can't get more of, no matter how rich we are.
So true. I mean, think about it. We can always make more money, but when our time's up, that's it.
Like that question, do you want to be the richest person in the graveyard? That really puts things in perspective.
It's easy to get caught up in this cycle of setting higher and higher financial goals or chasing the next promotion. But even when we achieve them, that lasting feeling of fulfillment can be elusive.
You're always striving for something more, never really feeling satisfied.
So if it's not just about money or achievements, then what did the stuff you sent say was the key to feeling truly successful?
It seems like the most important thing is to live a life that aligns with your values, to figure out what's really important to you and appreciate what you already have.
Money is just a tool then, not the end goal.
Exactly. And there's been this idea in economics for a long time that people have unlimited wants, that will always want more and more.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
But some recent research actually challenges that.
Really?
Yeah, it found that most people, regardless of where they live or how much money they make, actually have a pretty moderate idea of what their ideal life would look like.
So it's not this endless pursuit of stuff.
Not necessarily. It seems like most people would be happy with, say, $10 million dollars or even just $1 million. Dollars.
That's pretty surprising, especially when you think about how much advertising we're bombarded with, always telling us to buy more things.
It's like maybe our ideal lives are more attainable than we've been led to believe.
Maybe we don't need as much as we think we do.
Right. And realizing that could be a huge relief.
Totally. It could free us from that constant pressure to keep up with the Joneses.
Okay, but let's get back to the big question. What does success really mean on a personal level?
What were some of the more meaningful definitions that came up in the stuff you read?
Well, one definition was simply the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, or the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I like that. It's about setting your own goals and working towards them, regardless of what anyone else thinks.
Exactly. And another key takeaway was the importance of defining success for yourself, not letting the media or society dictate what it should look like for you.
That's so important. If we're always comparing ourselves to other people's carefully curated lives, we're never going to feel truly successful.
One of the pieces you shared actually offered a very personal definition of success: becoming the best version of yourself mentally and emotionally, having loving relationships, experiencing freedom, and helping others find their purpose.
Wow, that's a really well-rounded view.
And another one I loved was the idea of success as enjoying the dance of life while becoming a better dancer and bringing others to enjoy the dance with you.
Oh, tell me more about that dance metaphor. I like that.
Well, it starts with enjoying the dance of life itself. Like Maya Angelou said, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it.
I love that quote. It's so simple, but so profound.
And self-acceptance is such a big part of that, liking yourself, warts and all.
It's easy to be our own worst critics.
Absolutely. But it's important to remember that we're all works in progress.
And then there's liking what you do, which could mean pursuing your passions, but it could also mean finding joy in the everyday things.
And liking how you do it, which means living in alignment with your values.
And what about becoming a better dancer? That's about personal growth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about constantly challenging yourself and striving to reach your full potential.
Like finding that sweet spot where you're challenged but not overwhelmed, and the work itself is rewarding.
It's like the idea of flow in positive psychology,
And then finally, there's bringing others to enjoy the dance with you.
which is all about connection and generosity and making a positive impact on the world.
Like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
And the dance metaphor itself is so perfect because it's not about reaching some distant destination. It's about enjoying the journey.
Life is a dance, not a race.
Beautifully put.
So if we take all of this together, it seems like success is really about feeling fulfilled. And that fulfillment looks different for everyone.
And it's not about comparing yourself to other people or trying to live up to some external standard.
We have to define success for ourselves on our own terms.
Exactly. And, in today's society, we're often told that success is all about money and possessions.
But that's just a small part of the picture.
It's about so much more than that. It's about pursuing your dreams, whatever those dreams may be.
This has been such a great conversation. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on success now.
Me too.
And if anyone listening wants to dive even deeper into this, I highly recommend checking out wealthygoodlife.com. It's a great resource for anyone who wants to create a more holistic and fulfilling life.
I couldn't agree more.
So what do you think? What resonated with you the most from our discussion today? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Head over to wealthygoodlife.com and share your own definition of success in the comments. It's through conversations like these that we can all learn from each other and create a more meaningful measure of a life well lived. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.